In 6 days, $32 billion vanished. Not slowly, not quietly, 6 days. And the man responsible was playing video games while it happened. This is Sam Bankman-Fried, the man who told the world he was saving crypto while secretly gambling away everything his customers had trusted him with. And here's what you need to know before we go any further. Everything you're about to hear has already happened again. Different name, different platform, same trick. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot it. Year 2019, the crypto world is the Wild West. No rules, no sheriff, just chaos, and the kind of opportunity where fortunes appear and disappear overnight. Into this world walks a 27-year-old with unwashed hair, wrinkled cargo shorts, and the sleep-deprived look of someone who either hasn't slept in 3 days or simply doesn't care what you think. His name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Everyone calls him SBF. He doesn't look like a billionaire. He plays video games during investor meetings. He sleeps on a beanbag in his office. He tweets philosophy at 3 a.m. And Wall Street looks at this disheveled 27-year-old and thinks, this one is different. He starts FTX, a crypto exchange, a place where anyone, hedge funds, retail investors, everyday people with a phone and some savings, could buy and sell cryptocurrency. It grows fast, faster than anyone expected. Within 3 years, fourth largest crypto exchange in the world, $32 billion valuation, offices in the Bahamas. The names that define Silicon Valley line up to give him money. Then come the celebrities, Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Larry David, all of them in FTX ads telling the world this platform is safe, legitimate, the future of finance. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto. Safe. Remember that word. We'll come back to it. But here's what nobody was talking about loudly enough. SBF didn't just run FTX. He also owned Alameda Research, a trading firm. The same firm that traded on FTX. The exchange and its biggest trader, same owner. In traditional finance, this is called a conflict of interest. Regulators spend entire careers preventing exactly this. In crypto in 2021, it was called innovative. When anyone asked, isn't this a problem? SBF had a smooth answer. Completely separate companies, different teams, different everything, trust me. And they did. Because SBF had built something more powerful than a product. He had built an identity. He called his philosophy effective altruism. The idea that the entire point of making money is to give it away as effectively as possible. He pledged to donate most of his wealth. He testified before Congress. He donated millions to political campaigns. He wasn't just a CEO, he was a movement. And movements are very hard to question. Here's where it gets dark. FTX had its own token, a cryptocurrency called FTT, created and controlled by FTX itself. And Alameda, SBF's trading firm, had a balance sheet stuffed with FTT. Think about what that means. Alameda claimed billions in assets, but those assets were largely a token that FTX had printed itself, a token worth whatever people believed it was worth. But it gets worse. FTX was taking customer funds, real money, deposited by real people who thought it was sitting safely in their accounts, and sending it to Alameda to use for trading, not investing, not growing, speculative, high-risk bets that could go catastrophically wrong. The customers had no idea. They logged into FTX, saw their balance, felt safe. Meanwhile, their money was in the Bahamas, being wagered on trades that needed to keep winning to prevent the entire structure from collapsing. There was reportedly a secret backdoor in FTX's accounting software, a way to move funds without triggering alerts, without leaving the kind of trail auditors look for. It wasn't a glitch, it was a feature. Now, here's the moment every story like this has, the moment when the truth tries to get out. November 2nd, 2022, a crypto outlet publishes Alameda's leaked balance sheet. The numbers are there for anyone to see. Billions in claimed assets, mostly FTT, the token FTX had created, worth something only as long as everyone kept believing it was worth something. SBF's team responds calmly. Alameda's CEO tweets that the balance sheet is incomplete, that everything is fine. The market doesn't believe her. Withdrawals start slowly, then faster. Then on November 6th, the person who lights the final fuse steps forward. Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, founder of Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, and FTX's oldest rival. CZ announces Binance will sell all of its FTT holdings, hundreds of millions of dollars, gone. The message is unmistakable. If the king of crypto doesn't trust FTX's token, why would anyone else? What happens next moves faster than anything crypto has ever seen. November 6th, FTX processes $4 billion in withdrawals, 4 times normal daily volume. November 7th, $6 billion. The system strains. November 8th. FTX quietly tells investors it needs emergency funding, billions, immediately. For 24 hours, it looks like there might be a rescue. CZ announces Binance will acquire FTX. Crisis averted. Then CZ looks at FTX's actual books. November 9th, Binance walks away. What they found inside was bad enough that the world's largest crypto exchange didn't want to touch it. November 10th, it's confirmed FTX used customer funds to back Alameda's trading bets. Billions of dollars that customers believed were safely in their accounts moved without their knowledge, without their consent. November 11th, SBF resigns. FTX files for bankruptcy. Between 1 million and 5 million creditors. 1 million to 5 million people who logged into an app, saw a balance, trusted it, and were wrong. The number that sits heaviest in this story isn't $32 billion. It's the people behind that number. The retiree who moved part of her savings into crypto because FTX seemed like the safe option. The young investor who had been building a position for 2 years. The person in a country with an unstable currency who used FTX because it felt more reliable than the local bank. They weren't hedge funds. They were people who made a decision based on what they could see, celebrity endorsements, a CEO who seemed too idealistic to be dishonest, a balance that looked real. The balance was a lie. SBF was arrested in December 2022, charged with wire fraud, securities fraud, money laundering. In November 2023, guilty on all 7 counts, 25 years. Caroline Ellison, Alameda's CEO and SBF's ex-girlfriend, pleaded guilty and cooperated. 2 years. The celebrity endorsers face civil lawsuits. Most settled quietly. The Bahamas apartment is sold, the beanbag is gone, and the man who said he was going to save crypto is in federal prison. Now. Here's the part of this story that belongs to you. FTX didn't collapse because SBF was a uniquely brilliant criminal. It collapsed because a set of very ordinary psychological levers were pulled and worked exactly as they always work. Lever 1. Complexity as camouflage. FTX's structure was genuinely hard to understand, and things that are hard to understand are easy to trust, because questioning them makes you feel unsophisticated. If you can't explain in 2 sentences how a financial product makes money, that's not a reason to invest more. That's a warning sign. Lever 2. Identity over evidence. SBF sold a version of himself, the reluctant billionaire, the philosopher, the person only in it to give it away. Once you buy into an identity that compelling, you stop evaluating the product, you evaluate the person, and the person seems great. This is how Theranos worked, how Madoff worked, how it always works. The charisma is the distraction, the product is what matters. Lever 3. Social proof from people who also didn't check. Tom Brady didn't audit FTX's balance sheet before filming that ad. Sequoia Capital, one of the most sophisticated investors in the world, later wrote their entire FTX investment down to 0 and admitted they hadn't done sufficient due diligence. When everyone around you seems to believe something, the instinct is to believe it too. That instinct has a body count. 3 questions. Simple, non-negotiable. Ask them before you put money anywhere. 1. Where does the money actually go when you deposit it? Not the marketing answer, the documented, audited answer. 2. Who is independently checking? If the answer is trust us, that's your answer. 3. Can you afford to lose everything you put in? Not most of it. Everything. Because in unregulated systems, that is always the real risk. FTX had 1 million customers who skipped those questions. The questions still deserved answers. That's what we do here. We don't follow the hype. We follow the money. And what happened to the people the money left behind. SBF called himself the JP Morgan of crypto. JP Morgan didn't lose his customers' money. If this story made you think differently about where you put your trust and where your money and your savings, you already know what to do. The next story is waiting, and it's closer to home than you think. Stay close.